All right, so I've been gone for a little minute, and it's been a little bit of GTA 6 news, not too much. Actually, the CEO of Take-Two came out with a statement, and we're gonna get to the video and a breakdown of what that statement means and how that statement is going to affect GTA 6. So I hope y'all guys enjoyed this, and girls, let's get into the video.
Another GTA 6 video. Today we got some pretty interesting insight by the Take-Two CEO of what has actually been going on behind the scenes on GTA 6's development. Before we do take a look at that, if you do enjoy GTA 6 content, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And also, these sort of scuffed-ish videos should be ending soon. I'll be back home in a few days with my normal setup. So the big news coming from yesterday's Take-Two earnings call was this. Grand Theft Auto 6 began development in earnest in 2020.
All right, so that's some good news, for the hype that it has. And it says, what? Grand Theft Auto development began development. Okay, so the development came in 2020. The hype that it's got from 5 years ago to now is just amazing. And I doubt that they started on this in 2020. They definitely had to start on this way before 2020. That's what they're just trying to put out. They're trying to say they started on their way before that.
Following the massive success of RDR2, and as we all know, but it's interesting to hear him say it, the Take-Two CEO, it is the most anticipated entertainment property of all time. Now, the 2020 date, this of course, you may be thinking, contradicts what has been long rumored that GTA 6 started development in 2018. First off,
and they did, because if you go back to the video that I dropped about all the different locations.
Another feature that I noticed that lets me know that they came I guess pre-pandemic in this case, is if we zoom in on that screenshot over on that street on the left, we can see some artwork on the face of a building, on the facade, and sort of a gap underneath it, and then some water along that edge of the building. So this is more or less where that would be in the game. It is on that street. There's now a new building that just got constructed, still under construction. We'd have to go all the way over here to see that building. That is
right there,
right at the center of your screen.
Damn,
see all the glass windows at
it's so crazy how they really broke this shit down, like, to put it in the game. That is crazy. Hey, that's some great detail. Although, of course, they switch everything around to make it look different and all this sort of stuff, but that is great detail work to get this building spot on. Basically,
top it matches the one in the screenshot, but we don't see our work.
It matches, like, it really does.
At the bottom, this gap was actually closed off around early 2017, so lets you know, at least for this specific street,
it came way earlier. That guy showed in the video, he said some of the locations were even changed, but they were like that back in 2018 and 2019. So they had to gotten the idea and started some of the work, maybe not computer work, but they started a lot of that work in probably like 16, 17, 18, leading up to 2020, to where they actually started the computer work and starting to construct the game.
Let's actually take a look at what the phrase "in earnest" means, because I've seen so many people take this and run with it and say GTA 6 only started development in 2020. That's not the case. You can see in earnest means it has already started, but has now been being done in a serious and complete way.
Yeah.
So the development for GTA 6 actually did start prior to 2020, probably in 2018, one would assume, right after RDR2 was released. Maybe even some pre-production was before that, but in 2020, that is when the bulk of the development started.
The bulk of the game.
All 5,000 people, all 5,000 developers working on this game. And this does actually check out with Dan Houser and Laszlo both leaving Rockstar Games, which also happened in 2020, if anyone remembers that big thing. The speculation, at the moment at least, is that they had a separate, more grand vision, maybe a more ambitious vision for GTA 6, and they ultimately had disagreements with either people at Take-Two or other higher-ups at Rockstar, and then they ultimately left because their vision, they didn't get it or whatever. Because if you do remember, way back when, like the first handful of leaks for GTA 6, it was code-named Project Americas, and apparently it was supposed to be not only just Vice City and Leonida, but I think Cuba and some of the Caribbean islands, as well as even parts of South America, I think Colombia more specifically. So even though what we've seen so far from GTA 6, it looks like a giant game, I guess their vision would have been an even bigger game and an even more ambitious game.
And who's to say that it's not? There might be missions where you have to fly to Cuba or you got to fly to Medellin, Colombia. You know what I'm saying? You just, we don't know. I mean, it's too early and it's not too early, but they have not dropped a shit ton of information. And I know it's coming pretty soon. Definitely within the winter months, we're going to definitely get more trailers and things like that. Ooh, we may be able to go to Cuba. We may be able to go to Medellin. You never know. So, I mean, don't put all your eggs in one basket and say, oh, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. We'll have to figure out, man, with more information to come. I figure they drop another trailer by... August, September?
And it probably would have required...
I think that August, September trailer is going to be definitely gameplay trailer, for sure.
Longer development time. So that's why in 2020, they reworked the plan. Those two guys left, and then they started on just the Vice City and Leonida part of development. And that just makes sense. Like, I know the game's been in development for a while, and we're all waiting for it, and it's obviously going to take another year. But imagine if it was even longer. People would have genuinely lost their minds, even more than they have already. So it does kind of make sense that if that was the case, they scaled it back down so the game wouldn't take even longer to release. And even though this is speculation, this theory does make a whole lot of sense, because why else would GTA 6 wait 2 full years after RDR2 to begin the main development? I mean, it's not like RDR2 had, major story DLCs or huge online updates. So why would Rockstar wait 2 years for the most anticipated game of all time? And why would Take-Two allow them when they know GTA 6 is going to make them billions of dollars? So I think this theory that the game was supposed to be something else, but in 2020, they reworked that plan and then they began on what we obviously see today. So I think that was a really, really interesting little tidbit from Strauss Zelnick, from the Take-Two CEO. As someone who has followed this for literal years now, it's nice to know sort of what's going on behind the scenes. So that was cool. Now, some other stuff that was mentioned in the earnings call, he all but confirmed that the game will not be delayed again. He says that they have a specific date, or when they have a specific date, they have been very good about reaching it. Now, obviously, in the past, he said, yeah, the game's still on track for fall 2025. And look how that's happened. But I think the fact that they do have a solid release date and not just a time frame, it's not just like spring 2025, I do think it's actually a good sign. And that in a year's time, we will all be playing this game. And then the last interesting thing from this earnings call was this Reddit post. Now, maybe take this with a grain of salt. It's kind of just people looking at some numbers here and coming to conclusions, but it does all check out. This Reddit post here claims that the development cost for GTA...
All right, so let me read this. T2's balance sheets pretty much confirmed GTA 6 is over $1 billion budget. I'm making this post because I've seen quite a bit of skepticism on this, so here it goes. In order to understand all this, you need to know that what capitalized development costs, amortization and COGS, cost of goods and souls, means. You can get everything you need to know by asking your favorite AI what is capitalized development costs and how it relates to video games, and follow up with what is COGS, which is COGS. TLDR, capitalized development costs, relates to yet to be released games that are being earnestly worked on, while COGS relates to released games that are already bringing money. You can get the earnings reports by Googling Take-Two quarterly earnings.
GTA 6 is over $1 billion. And of course, it's long been rumored that it's about $2 billion for this game's development, but those were just rumors. Here we have actual sort of evidence.
Oh, so now we have actual money screenshots. GTA 5 releases. That is a lot of money to put on a game. Oh my God.
These are all the numbers provided by Take-Two. And right when the GTA 6 development started, like a year or two after, that is when that first highlighted number on the left skyrocketed to apparently over $1 billion. Dang. Which, I mean, it makes sense because they have, like I said, 5,000 something developers working on this game. It's massive. Like, I'm sure, yeah, they are going to be spending a lot to develop this game. I think Call of Duty spent $700 million on one of their recent titles. So it's sort of in line with that as well. And it also probably didn't matter to Take-Two because
700 million.
They're
that's crazy for Call of Duty to spend 700 million on a shitty game. That game is
all
shitty,
of that
bro.
money, just probably in pre-orders alone, let alone the actual game and online and all that. So I think this is a pretty good evidence that the game's development is actually over $1 billion. And then once you include marketing and all that, that $2 billion limit or rumor, it's not that far-fetched. So that is it for today's GTA 6 video. Thank you guys for watching. Please drop the video a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe for more GTA 6 content. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.
All right. Shout out to Saints fan for this video. Crazy video. Definitely GTA 6 is worth $1 billion and more for sure. Call of Duty spent $700 million on that shitty trash they got now. GTA 6 is definitely $2 billion. Anyways, I'm out. Hope y'all enjoyed. Peace.